Now, anger is one of the most misunderstood emotions out there as well. And people are either terrified of it and suppress it, or they let it consume them and burn everything in their path because of anger. But anger itself is not the problem. Anger is just like every emotion, information again. It's your system saying a boundary has been crossed, something is not okay, something is not right, something is bothering you. Pay attention, find out what it is. And the first mistake most people make with anger is thinking that it's bad. That it means that you're out of control and dramatic and unhealed and all of these things. But that's not actually true. Anger is simply a survival mechanism, and it's basically just your nervous system rising up to protect you when it feels violated, when it feels disrespected or unseen or in a threat, right? So it is a raw life force energy and that says something here needs to change, right? And this in itself is not a bad thing. The second mistake is letting anger run your life. Because if you don't learn to process and channel it, anger can absolutely consume you. It can turn you bitter and it can turn you aggressive and reactive and very much destructive in your relationships and your work and even toward yourself, right? You're being self destructive. So, anger that goes unprocessed usually turns into resentment, and resentment is poison. It eats away at your energy, and it's this thing that just seeps into your body as tension and stiffness and even disease, right? And it keeps you trapped in a cycle of projection and just blaming everybody around you, blaming everything else. So let's make one thing clear. Anger is not actually bad. Anger is a sacred fire, but sacred fire still has to be respected and directed and channeled and not ignored or not unleashed recklessly onto other people and other things around you. So let's get to the point of it. What do we do to alchemize anger? Well, the first thing is obviously feel it. Feel it fully without harming yourself or others. The first step is to stop suppressing it because when you bottle up anger, it doesn't go away. It just turns inward as self hatred and depression and anxiety and all of these negative feelings. So, safe expression is the key here. Scream into a pillow, punch a punching bag, go do sports and let it out through that energy. Shake your body, dance it out, go on a run, even write a rage letter you never sent. Write everything down you're thinking, every little nasty thing that you would never say to anyone in their face. Anger needs movement. It needs to leave your body. How does it leave your body? By you moving it, by you doing somatic practices. All right? Second, what boundary was crossed? Anger is always pointing you toward a violation, towards something that has been done to you, towards something that was not right to you, either by someone else or by yourself. Let's not forget that. It's not about blaming other people, it's about also taking responsibility for where you did yourself wrong. So if you allowed something that went against your truth, where did I not stand up for myself? Where did I abandon my own needs? Where did I disrespect myself? Where did I let someone else take too much? Where did something go wrong? What boundary has been crossed? What line has been crossed? Either by someone else, by something else, or by myself. The anger is just a signal that a boundary was breached. Find out what it was so that you can reframe it. Next thing is transform that into clarity. So once you've felt it, once you've identified it, and once you've identified the root of it, use anger as fuel for your clarity. So anger sharpens, right? It cuts through the bullshit. It tells you exactly what you will no longer tolerate and what needs to change. And this is where anger becomes your power. It shows you where your no lives, where your lines live, right? Where your values live, so that you can protect yourself and your word. Then communicate with strength and not destruction. So, unprocessed anger, as I've said, it lashes out, it blames others, it attacks, it pushes people away, it does all of it, hurts people that are in your path. Alchemized anger communicates firmly and clearly and without apologizing. You don't need to yell. You don't need to explode to assert your truth, right? You need to understand that just because you're becoming louder doesn't make what you say any more or any less true. True power is calm but unshakable. So let your anger fuel just the courage to speak, but make sure that your words are still coming from grounded clarity and not just chaotic fire. Don't just blurt out anything that you think or punch someone or react in an abrupt way. Be mindful, calm yourself, be communicative, stand in your true power. And then the next thing is let it move you, not define you, right? So anger is fuel for action, again, for change, for standing up and claiming what you deserve. But it is not meant to be your whole identity. Don't become the person who is always angry, who's always fighting, who's always resentful, who's always carrying the fire with no release, right? That's when anger actually consumes you and you have absolutely no control over it. Don't let it control you. That's when anger actually burns down your life instead of building it up, right? So you're creating the complete opposite of what your intention actually is. So what you need to understand here is there is a big difference between being fueled by anger and being consumed by anger. Because one makes you powerful while the other makes you destructive. And it's not only destructive towards other people, you're literally self-sabotaging you, your own life, your things, your circumstances. And you've seen it. People who live in constant rage, constantly projecting, constantly fighting everything and everyone. They might look strong on the outside, the ones that have the biggest mouth, running their mouth. They might look strong and confident on the outside, but they're actually completely controlled by the very emotion and insecurity they think empowers them. And that is not power, that is just, again, enslavement to your triggers. You have lost control over your reality. Real power is when you can hold your emotion, and in this case, your anger, and honor it and express it safely and sit with it and let it fuel toward your boundaries and your standards and your vision and your action taking and your purpose without losing yourself in it. Anger is just here to wake you up and to show you where change is still required and where you can do better and where you need to rewire yourself to remind you that you are actually worthy of respect and of safety and of truth and all of these positive things. But it is not here to turn you into a victim of your own emotions and circumstances again. So let anger come up, feel it, sit with it, then move it, learn from it, and then channel it into bold action. Channel it into your own great purpose. Because when you master the alchemy of anger, you stop being consumed by the fire and instead you learn how to wield it. And that's how you regain power over your life.